Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, Red Elevator. I am so happy today because this particular topic is one that has been highly recommended. In fact, of all the comments I have received, you guys have asked for this particular video the most. So I know a lot of you are going to be excited, as I am, about exactly what we're going to be talking about today. But before I get into that, I want to do a quick shout out to GLOBEIN. GLOBEIN, it's going to be linked below, you guys, is an ethically sourced subscription service where you can get really wonderful items from all over the world. It helps artisans get fair wages, and it is a really wonderful program. So do check it out. But here is what we're going to be talking about today, which is the top 10 kitchen trends of 2020. Follow me. For those of you who are asking, I will be linking outfits like the one I'm wearing, if not the exact pieces, unless they're not available, below in the comments so that you guys can see what I am wearing. Today, I have a sweater from Theory, silk pants from Theory. I also have my vintage Gucci shoes and earrings from Kelly Whistler. For our very first kitchen trend, we are going to talk about, and make sure you stay because I'm going to share my absolute favorite kitchen trend at the very end of this video, so you don't want to miss my favorite. But the very first trend, which I think is phenomenal for 2020, are what I call cantilevered islands. By cantilevered islands, I mean islands that are literally flowing in the sky, in the air. They look like they don't have any support. They almost look magic-like. And so you will see in these photos that are popping up in this video, for example, this particular kitchen, you're going to see that we have a sitting area that looks like it's protruding out of an island. So that particular one is really great. You have another kitchen designed by Joseph Durand, one of my favorite French interior designers, who also does a Plaster chair co-mingled with or paired with this cantilevered island, which I think is really gorgeous. The cantilevered island look is one of the best design trends, I think, by far of this decade. And yes, we are just beginning the decade. For the next very important design trend that you are going to notice, if you haven't noticed already, is that you have now shelving to the right and to the left of your hood. Traditionally, you would have something else. You'd have upper cabinets, but now you're going to see a really cool trend, which I also love, is floating shelves. These floating shelves can be made of marble, like you see in this particular photograph, or they can also be made of metal. These metal shelves are very cool. Sometimes they can mimic the metal that is in your hood so that you have uniformity in the kitchen. They can also be any part of your hardware. So if you have brass hardware, you could have these brass shelves. And as you can see in this particular kitchen, we've got these really nice, long, elongated shelves that are open. It makes the kitchen a lot more airy, and it really has that great designer touch. So keep an eye out. If you're designing your kitchen, maybe you want to do some shelving, whether they're floating or whether they're just floor, counter to ceiling. They can really create a very sharp looking kitchen. Another very critical, important trend of 2020 for kitchens are, you're not going to believe this one, but they are marble front drawers. By that, you can see in this particular photo that we have a kitchen. These are kitchens by Paul. He is one of the most incredible kitchen designers I have ever seen. But you will notice from his kitchens that his marble drawer fronts, his drawer fronts are made of marble. So how do you do that? Well, again, you have to have a great fabricator, but it's becoming a trend, and I think people are learning how to do this. I'm seeing it more and more in houses. It is very high-end to do, so if you can get away with it, you can have $1 million kitchen. And they are typically done in islands like they are in this particular kitchen, as you see, but they look smashing. And so one of my favorite kitchen trends of all time for 2020, and I know this will continue, you're going to see a lot more of this, are marble drawer fronts. The next trend of 2020 that I think is probably by far one of my favorite, I mean, I honestly can't pick what my favorite trend is because these trends are, I mean, I see them, I get super excited, and I want to redo my kitchen. But of course, that is not possible because one cannot rip out marble for no reason. But if you guys haven't begun to create your own kitchens, I highly encourage and love for you to do my favorite next trend, which is the, am I in a kitchen? So what does that mean? It means you don't know where you are. Look at this photo, for example, of this black kitchen. This black kitchen is spectacular. It's got a very unusual pendant light. It's a linear horizontal light, which is incredible. And then you really don't quite think you're in a kitchen. It could be a bar, it could be a moody, atelier. It could be like a room and who knows where, right? You're not sure where you are. You are in fact looking at a kitchen, and this is a really great example of the am I in a kitchen? They have chandeliers, as you can see from this particular kitchen. They have this gorgeous chandelier that is literally floating in the air above this fantastic marble island. Why and how can you do this? Well, you can do it if you are really in a room that is not necessarily a kitchen, but it is really part of a more formal space. For these large open houses, you can definitely do a no kitchen. If I had to do a house all over again, I would do a no kitchen, and then I would have a place where I would buy inexpensive materials and an inexpensive cooktop, and I would just say, go crazy. I will cut, chop, fry, and just let it go. And I think that that is a really interesting trend for 2020. The next top kitchen idea, trend, must have, if you want to call it, for 2020 is the double island. You guys have seen the double island before, but now there's a whole new meaning to double islands. These double islands are expansive. It's for someone who is lucky enough to have a very big kitchen. I know, for example, in certain states where land is more plentiful, you tend to have bigger spaces, and that's basically where these kitchens are popping up. But if you have a big space, a double island is wonderful. So as you can see in this particular photo, one can be used for prepping and cooking and cutting, and the other one could be used as an island where you can actually sit down. And it's a great way to be able to incorporate invitees into your kitchen. So it really brings the family together, it brings friends together, it brings people into the kitchen, and it has a lot more surface area. It's great if you have dinners at home that you're serving. Let's say that you can actually use one island as a buffet and one island for seating. Another island double trend that you're going to see in this particular photo is very interesting because what it does is that it is perpendicular to the island. So you basically have an L-shaped island. It does look fantastic, doesn't it? It doesn't look awkward. These new trends are really coming in seamlessly. I'm really enjoying watching them. And this particular one, you can see that you've got basically stools that are coming out of what is a beautiful rounded island that goes into more of a traditional island. And so it sort of divides up the space and creates a nice L shape. Another big trend of 2020 is the materials that are being used on your hood liners. And by that, I mean the Plaster hood is made a brand new comeback. Actually, I think it's one of the best trends of 2020. So what you see are hoods that are lined with plaster. So an artisan, a very astute plaster artisan, will come into the home, and as you can see from these photos, they are going to mold around the hood liner, and you're going to get a very beautiful result from that. Plaster is huge right now. It's the minimal materials, the minimal kitchens, the no kitchen. All of that is really tied in. Everything is sort of tied in. All of these trends really work with each other and in unison. So if I talk about one trend, you'll see that other elements of that trend happen to be in the same kitchens. The other portion that's important to consider also is that you have a lot of marble, the use of marble on hoods. So instead of having a giant metal protruding hood, you're going to have marble hoods. Marble hoods are by far one of my favorite things. I'm actually doing one in a kitchen very soon. We will take a video of that as well, and we will tour that kitchen, but you guys are gonna love it. What I love about the marble hood is that it does not introduce yet another element in the kitchen. It's very seamless, it's nice and square, as you can see in this photo. It looks very chic, and sometimes you can actually do marble and plaster together, and that's what this particular photo is about. So I hope you liked this particular trend because I think it's here to stay. Technology has made its entrance, as you guys know, into this new millennial and also into this decade. And of course, it has made a giant impact on kitchens. But today we don't have time for that. I'm going to bring up the one thing that is really important with technology and kitchens, and that is LED lighting. LED lighting strips are making a very important entrance into home design. So, and what's great about them is that they're low energy, they're very efficient, and they can really outline the kitchen that you love. And so in some of these photos, you're gonna see LED lighting that light cabinets from behind. That's really new. You're seeing LED lighting strips that are, we've always seen from under the counter. But what about on other areas outlining the cabinets? This LED lighting trend, I think, is very, very important because at night when the house is dark, you can just turn one or two of these lights on and it looks spectacular. My next trend for 2020 that I wanted to highlight are the niches. And by niche, I mean that kitchens are incorporating these really utilitarian, believe it or not, but beautiful little marble niches. The niche is great if you're a big coffee drinker or you like to make a cocktail at night. You can certainly make it in your little niche. And having these in your kitchen, I think, are marvelous and very useful. Part of a new trend for 2020 that you guys are seeing are the fact that upper cabinets have completely disappeared, gone. No need for upper cabinets, people. Well, if you're not a huge cook, again, this is a little bit part of the, it's not quite, kitchen, but it really is a very, very big trend. In fact, I'm surprised it's as big as it is because I know that people need space to put things and organize things. So, by the way, speaking of which, we are going to have our organization kitchen video next week. So make sure and subscribe, hit the bell, hit the like button so that you don't miss the kitchen organization, which is another favorite of mine that I love doing and I can't wait to share with you guys. But back to no upper cabinets, it's a new trend, it's a good one. And if you don't have a lot of plates, unfortunately I have too many plates, but if you don't have too many things and you like a clean kitchen, you're the kind of person who has, a set of white plates, very minimal, very modern, the no upper cabinet look, I think, is smashing. If you can get away with it, get away with it. And if not, too bad for this trend of 2020. For my very last and favorite trend of 2020 in kitchens that I am dying to use and perhaps will be using in my very next project, because we're in the stages of development, is the, are you ready for this? I don't even know how to say it. It's the traditional moldings, the Parisian European moldings against a modern kitchen. Okay, what do I mean by that? I mean you are setting the stage for a gorgeous kitchen by bringing in very traditional, architecturally, historically correct moldings. As you can see in these photos, they are beautiful moldings that have a lot of details in them, and you're juxtaposing them with, of course, you guys know this is my favorite type of design, you're juxtaposing them with an ultra-modern kitchen. Joseph Duran, for example, is an expert at doing this, and I hope this trend becomes a really big one in the next decade to come because it really is spectacular. If you happen to have an architectural home with moldings, it makes it a lot easier as a Parisian pied-à-terre, or if you have a old historic building and you don't want to touch the moldings, this is the perfect place to do it. But also a lot of people are recreating this from scratch. They are bringing in very heavy moldings and then they are bringing in very sleek modern cabinetry or very sleek modern mid-century furniture, as you can see in these photos. So I hope you enjoyed that particular trend because that is by far my favorite, and I'd love to hear which of these 10 trends happens to be your favorite. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Red Elevator. Kitchen trends and kitchens in general are a very hot topic in interior design, and I know a lot of you are asking me what the trends are. We are at the tail end of 2020, so make sure and subscribe so that you can see the 2021 trends that are going to be coming in just a few months. Again, I really appreciate all the love and all the positivity that I'm getting from everyone. I love and read every one of your comments, and I can't wait to see you again next week with my kitchen organization tips. Have a good one, and I'll see you next time.